So this is my presentation of learning, or PoL, by Ben Guthrie, and this PoL just strictly focuses on the second semester. Okay. So the topic or the storyline that I chose was a MPX-a-thon. That's like sort of like a triathlon, but there's more than 3 events, because I felt like this semester was a really long run, and it was just a lot longer than first semester, I think. So because I chose a triathlon, there's different like obstacles and achievements and skills gained. Like you may be better at swimming than running, or like that. Okay, so this is why I chose the MPX-a-thon, and that's like a picture of me with our group's hydroponic system. So these are some of the skills I had improved, which is cooking in a limited time, sustainability, infographics, making an instruction manual, and the importance of bees. And that picture right there was kind of important to us because we found a praying mantis on our system, and we thought it was like good luck because it was like a week before the cook-off. Yeah. So these are some obstacles that I faced, was measuring the TDS of a hydroponic system, and learning how to write a good essay and growing plants. Of course, this is the start of my race. So, at the start of my race, I find a beehive that I have to run through, and this is totally made up. Yeah, so. Okay, so I find like a beehive, and then we have to run through it, and this is like some extreme event we had to run through. And then there was 4 bees that I killed because I have like a total bee phobia, and then only one stung me. So this man, he came up to me and he explained, he was some like hippie dude, so he explained the importance of bees, and he talked about bee pollination, and their numbers are declining greatly, and apparently he told me that clones are taking over the bees, which means that they are trying to make robots that pollinate plants, but the ratio between robots and plants are too high, so they can't make it enough, and financially it costs the government $2 billion for bee pollination. So while running, I find a World War veteran, and apparently it's some guy named Douglas MacArthur and his son. Yeah. So I learned a lot about him, and I explained to a biography essay I have to turn in for class. And he says that he talks about his father, Douglas MacArthur, and he was a general in World War II, which I found really interesting. And what he did was he drove Japan's people out of the Philippines, because they're holding Filipino people as hostage, and he brought back his men and fought them out twice, in fact. He failed the first time, so that's why he's such a big icon. So while running, I come to the next event, and I have to cook a pizza, and I find this man next to me named Chef Ramsey, which you may all know probably. And I explained to him about a cook-off I have to do at Capilani Community College, and he says that you should probably cook something Mexican because it has everything in one dish, and it's not like these multiple dishes scattered, so the plating doesn't look bad. So he tells me about a chicken tostada, which I talked to about my group, and they all approved of it. So we had to go to KCC, and then I teamed up with my partners to make this dish. This is before the actual cook-off, and this was really sloppy, we thought. And then it turned out that during the real event, it looked like 100 times better than we expected. So I felt that I gained really well cooking skills, and I really enjoyed cooking that I did, some at home, like on my own time. So this may be like a thing I might pursue in college or something. And this is a video or a time lapse of the cooking prep. This isn't actually the real cooking. Since I found out that I wasn't such a good cooker. If you look, it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm in a gray shirt doing a lot of dishes. So it was something that we had to do, which I totally did not like to do, but I just did it anyway because it was part of our grade. Yeah. So I come to a stop, which is the next event, which I have to bicycle, and there are so many people at the event that I might as well meet some people new and talk to some people. So I meet a woman named Heather Shakespeare, and Heather is apparently a quote-unquote writing expert, and I tell her about an essay I have to write, I have to tell her about an essay, and she tells me that I should do it on the Russian Revolution, so I chose it on Bloody Sunday. And I learned about this man named George Gaffone, who led the march of all these workers who were on strike because they wanted security in their family. So yeah, I wrote that essay on it, and I felt that I did a really good job on that, which was one of my big strengths. Because I put a lot of time and effort into that, because I've never really wrote a good research paper except one time in 7th grade, which I did terrible on. So I thought I did a lot better job on this. Okay. So I come to another event. I have to cross the Kaiwi Channel, which which is in between Oahu and Molokai, and I meet this man named Greg Kaneko, who talks to me about sustainability and the importance of it. So we built a hydroponic system in the first semester, and we had to grow plants in it. And one obstacle that we all actually faced was that all our plants died during like 2 days before spring break, except this one group, which was kind of suspicious that we thought. Yeah, and that kind of put us at like kind of a scary grade, because our cook-off was in 2 weeks and most of our plants died. Okay, so one other thing that I felt that was really important this semester was using infographics and building to learn, because it was kind of interesting to take this course because there's no tests, and I just thought that we should prep for tests because we're going to take so many in college and stuff like that. But I learned that group projects is really taking over, and PoLs like this is kind of taking over finals instead of big tests, which is kind of interesting. And this is one infographic that I did pretty well on, which is about killing sharks and how it affects an ecosystem. And what I learned was that if you kill sharks, the shark's number will decline, so the tuna's number will increase, and if they eat all their bait fish, the bait fish will go at a super decline, then the tuna will go at a decline, which I kind of felt that was interesting because the whole food chain gets affected by one animal.
Nice.
So this was one major one that I felt, because I'm one of 4 group members in this class, so I can't really have any help sustaining the system on Fridays and Wednesdays. So I didn't really know how to measure the TDS of a system at first, which is total dissolved solid or fertilizer. And that was kind of scary for me because I thought that I was one of the part that killed the plants, because I didn't know how much fertilizer to put. I would just dump like part of the bag, which I got in trouble for. Yeah. And then I meet a guy named Usain Bolt at the end, and he wants to buy my system, or in this case, Priscilla's mom, because she bought the system. Which is, I didn't know until like today, so I'm gonna change it. So they don't really know how to use our system yet because they built a tower system and ours is a lot different. So I had to make an instruction manual so they can read how to use it. And I felt I did most of the work on this, so I was pretty happy with this because it took a lot of time. Yeah. So it shows how to I learned how to measure the TDS system, so I had to put it in this. And, yep. So I felt that the finish of this race is this PoL because this is part of second semester. So this is like kind of metaphoric, but I feel like this is the finish of the race. And thank you.
But what I liked about that was you really got the essence of what we're trying to do with all of our work that we do in this class, and you got to it, and so that was nice to see put together.
Any questions?
Questions or comments for Ben?
What are you most proud about in this presentation?
Probably. I don't know.
You mean like what project you mean?
No, well, yeah, I guess.
Or what?
No, what part of the presentation are you most proud about?
I think probably the essay because I felt that was like really hard for me. And yeah, I think I like overcame that challenge. Danny?
What project do you feel like you did best at?
Probably, or it's kind of like a project with the cook-off. Because we actually thought we had no chance of winning at first, but we actually tied for second, and that was like really surprising to us. Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Okay.